Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late June, moving into early July 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people out there. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Leo collective in late June, early July? We're getting very close to Leo season. Well, let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the lovely Leo collective. Late June, early July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out. We're going to have some fun today, my good friends. There we go. Cool. So this card always reminds me a lot of the Page of Pentacles, and it's a pretty good way to start. Right? It's like a fresh energy. There's a lot of energetic potential. That's the thing I always say with this card. So like there could be a lot of energetic goodness. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this young looking individual here with that fancy hat, little yin yang there, playing what seems to be some sort of lute instrument, right? And we have the rainbow coming out, which is like creation or making music. But to me, it does give me like a hybrid Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups type of vibe. Now, what do I mean by that? Usually pages are students or messengers, but they're also a very fresh energy with a ton of potential. Now, this is a great card for any sort of creativity. So it doesn't matter what you might be going through right now, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Spirit might be saying like, hey, you might need to move this energy outward. So whether it's through some sort of creative discipline or whether it's like writing, you name it, some form of expression to get the inside energy outward. But this is also great for new things, like turning over a new leaf, a new outlook, a new lease on life. So I think this has a lot of great potential. And it's great for the creative mind. That's one thing I really do enjoy about it. But what might be the downside of such a great card or great energy with a lot of potential? Sometimes it could second guess itself. Now, what I know about you beautiful Leos, you have a lot of self-worth, a lot of strong confidence in oneself, but just watch out for any situations that might make you second guess or like feel some type of way, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, because this energy could flip-flop. So we're going to let it chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Leo collective. What do we got in late June, early July? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled Explosive Action Incoming. Now, there was a lot of fire element present. Fire is it is your power element. It is your comfort zone. So whether it was like really quick intensifying action coming from your end or someone else's end, just watch out over the coming days and weeks, because when I see an energy like that, it could be very sporadic, spontaneous, urge driven. That was kind of what I was picking up last week. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else. All right, let's get it going here. 3 cards to start for the lovely Leos. What do we have in late June, early July for my good friends? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, this energy does feel a little bit wound tight. And again, this doesn't have to be yours. I really want to see what happens when we clarify. But card number 1, we do have the 9 of Swords. In position number 1, yeah, it's a little wound tight for one reason or another. Then we have the 5 of Pentacles that came out with it. Talk about a dynamic duo. Am I right, my friends? Those aren't the nicest pieces of imagery, but don't worry, there is a silver lining, that's for sure. Let's get one more. And yeah, again, it could be someone else's vibe. Okay, the Hierophant, nice stable energy here on the back end. So we are getting a totally different energetic profile than what we had last week, that's for sure. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first, with first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading, and it tells us like how the energy could be flowing or how you might be interacting with it or how comfortable or uncomfortable it might be. And we have a mixture of earth and air. Now, Air is very compatible with Leo energy, but Earth is a little bit different. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but when I look at Earth, I do think of outside influences, right? So when it comes to Earth, I think of results, I think of stability, I think of security, whether it's like feelings of security, inner or outer. This element can represent routine. It can represent day to day life. Like every day at this time, I do that. Like it's very much structured. Earth energy ties in heavily with money, work, business, finance, home, and family. So you see what I mean? There's all this outer stimulus going on, which is something we will keep an eye on. But it's usually great. It is an element of abundance. So I'm not saying this whole reading is out the window just yet. But the downside to all this earthy energy, it can feel stuck. It could feel like it's not making progress. It could be a stubborn individual or a stubborn situation. So we really need to keep a close eye on it because I do feel there's a little bit of pressure under the surface here. Now, on the front end, we have air. Total opposite of all that earth, whereas this one's slow, meticulous, steady, predictable. Air is here, there, and everywhere, right? Now, air is logical, pragmatic, very strategic and planned out. It deals with matters of the mind, how we view and process things, our perspective on things. It could deal with either giving or receiving information. So, obviously, with that being said, it is the suit of communication, talks. The downside to sword energy, like, yeah, it's smart, it's great, it's very sharp, but sometimes it could be cold. It could be detached. It could be very clinical. It's not thinking with the heart, right? Or it's not moving with the heart. It's using its logical mind. So we have a mixture of things going on here. One inner, two outer. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Nine of Swords. Now, that is one of the cards in the tarot deck. I always say you don't have to be an expert to understand what it means, right? It's pretty much there, black and white. We have this individual sitting up in bed, hands over the face, looks like they're stressing out. Now, for some Leos, watch sleep patterns. If you haven't been getting much sleep, if you've been sleeping light, this could show up when we need a little bit more rest. Like that's on the small side of this. Maybe some of you are just night owls. That's possible when this card is here. It could deal with the dreams, but a big thing with the Nine of Swords, it's stressed out, right? It's someone that's stressing, anxious, nervous. So, I mean, you might have a lot on your plate, or this could be someone you're connected to that has a lot on their plate, maybe losing some sleep. That's very possible. Now, this energy is not all bad. I always say the positive side of the Nine of Swords is the energetic sensitivity aspect. This is one of my cards that I do link to the paranormal energy sensitivity. So, for some Leos, maybe you just need some energetic or spiritual protection juiced up around you. That's very possible with this card. But try your best to make sure you're getting proper rest and sleep. And again, if not, it's just a little bit high strung. Now, that doesn't tank the whole entire reading. But moving into the center, it could be, I mean, these two could absolutely be linked together because the cards came out together. We have the Five of Pentacles, and we see these people, they're outside. It's like a cold winter's day. They're out there in the cold. And we're going to split this in a couple of different ways. Now, it could just represent financial, it could represent work related things, business, all that kind of stuff. If we're talking about money, this could be spirit telling you to budget or just like watch the spending, watch out for big purchases. That could be a big thing. It could be struggles with like work, career, and business. So that's something I'd watch out for. But this card also does have a sense of longing for something, right? Like it could be loneliness, it could be isolation, it could feel abandoned, even like on its big spectrum. And I always say with cards like this, it's a spectrum, right? So like the Nine of Swords, Five of Pentacles, it's like an energy that just feels a little bit off. So in this time, maybe it's just an off type of day. Now, there's a lot still to go, but these two in the front, they can be a little bit problematic. Like it can be a stress point. So we do want to dig into it further. Now, moving to the back end, yeah, if you're burning the candle at both ends, you might want to pace yourself with all this energy we're picking up. Now, on the back end, we have the Hierophant, very solid and stable. This is Taurus energy, and we see this image of like a pope figure. He's got all the people around praying. Very spiritual card, but this is one of the more symbolically dense cards in the whole entire deck. In its good sense, this can represent spirituality, spiritual practice, spiritual protection, kind of like what we were speaking about earlier. So this could be great. When I see the Hierophant, I think of power structures. So I think of like organized religions and churches and governments and corporations and stuff like that. The Hierophant could represent tradition, how things have always been, how things will continue to be. So this does have that routine, traditional tone to it that we want to keep an eye on. And of course, it could be authority figures too. Um, but it's solid, stable, and sometimes could represent blessings. There's a good predictability to it. So on the heels of all this, it's like, all right, maybe the energy's starting to calm down, or maybe things are starting to settle out. That could be great. But the Hierophant, especially next to the Five of Pentacles, really watch out for boredom in this time, especially with the reading we had last week with the spontaneity. Now all this, like there could be certain things where it's like the energy feels so dry. Watch out for boredom. That could be huge. But the big downside to the Hierophant is that stuck type of feeling, where it's like, am I making any progress? Or it could just be bored. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for the beautiful Leos? God, Spirit Team. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Nine of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what the Nine of Swords has. Yeah, and another thing, like with the Hierophant, this could represent long-standing connections as well, like long-term marriage, stuff like that. But we'll see when we get over to it. Let's see what the Nine of Swords has. Thank you. All right. This is very urge driven. So we have the Knight of Swords in the upright. This is very much a go, 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 don't stop type of energy. Now, for some of you, maybe you're connected to an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Hopefully they're not having too rough of a time, whoever this is. But Knights to me represent communication and they represent action. So like this combination of things, it's like I just need to do something. I need to do something. It's like very frantic. Now, one thing I want to watch out for, especially as we get over here, is could this be anger? Right? Because, like, the good thing about the Knight of Swords, it gets the energy outward. And remember, we saw it in that very first card with the page where it's like you might need to get a lot of internal energy out. So, whether it's through creative means, whether it's through physical activity, when I see the Nine of Swords with this, it's like a buildup of internal energy that needs to be pushed outwards, needs some sort of release. That's how this feels. Could it be someone stressed, anxious, nervous? Absolutely, with what we're picking up here. But the Knight of Swords, in its shadow sense, can sometimes be very aggressive. It could be very pushy. It could be mean sometimes. So, again, watch out for certain individuals that might be a little colder than they usually are. I want to see, though, is this anger we're seeing develop? But I would say worst case, or I don't even want to say worst case scenario, like with this combination, it could be like runaway train brain, where someone's having like looping thoughts, repeating thoughts. Let's keep moving. Maybe this will all settle out. That's what I'm hoping. But let's go in on the Five of Pentacles. We'll see what that has. Really want to get to that Hierophant now, because if the energy is so fast and go, 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 go here on the front, hopefully it's better when we get to the back end. So why is the Five of Pentacles here for Leo? Thank you. Okay. And Devil is like the darker side of the Hierophant. So we have the Devil in the upright. Yeah, this could be problematic. This could be a problem. All right, now the Devil. And again, you know me, I'm Mr. Silver Lining. I'm not going to say the whole reading's sunk yet because we haven't reached the conclusion. For some of you, this could just be, a Capricorn you're connected to. The Capricorns get this Devil card, and that's due to the goat symbolism. So if you're dealing with a Capricorn, cool. This does feel like outer stressors too, because the Devil, aside from the whole thing about relationships and connections, this does deal heavily with the material world. If you dig into the deeper esoteric symbolism of the Devil, or the figure of the Devil, a lot of it deals with the material reality that we live in. You know how like a lot of people say, oh, reality is an illusion. The Devil's the illusion, right? So when I see the Five of Pentacles with the Devil, it's like reality might be showing you this, maybe reality showing you this problem, this situation, and it seems like it's hard to deal with, or it seems like it's not changeable. I'm here to tell you it's all changeable, that's for sure. But especially watch out for things dealing with work, money, business, finance. So whether it's budgeting, whether it's issues at work with people, like this to me, the Devil with the Five of Pentacles is an energy that I've felt this way for a long time, and I will feel like this for a long time. That's the big thing about the Devil, because it's planted very similar to the Hierophant. So these energies could counteract each other. That's what I'm hoping this is. So again, watch out for any issues or problems popping up from the outside, where to me it's like it's coming from the outside towards me. It's like, why am I dealing with this? Or Yeah, it's a lot. It feels like a lot. So if you have a lot on your plate, if you're burning the candle at both ends, or you're feeling a lot of very intense energy, just watch out for overwhelm. Or this could be someone you're dealing with too, where it's like, oh, they're not having a good time. Let's keep going. Let's see what the Hierophant has. Let's see what the Hierophant has. Maybe that'll stabilize us a little bit, hopefully. So why is the Hierophant here for the lovely Leos? What's the Hierophant here? Okay. Okay. And this might sound a little frustrating to some of you. I mean, I love where it goes in the end. Now, we do have Lady Justice in the upright. Yes, she is very karmic, but she brings balance to things, right? So there could be certain things or situations where spirit wants you to adjust or change your perspective to it. And that's something that I try to pass on to a lot of people that I speak to and do personal sessions with, is for a lot of situations, uh, we can somewhat control our perspective in it, right? I mean, obviously there's certain things where if it's not a good thing or if it's a problem, it is what it is. But there are certain things where we could change our perspective and say, all right, this thing isn't working against me in the big picture, maybe working for me. That's kind of how this feels. I feel like there could be certain things or situations or even connections where you could change the perspective slowly, and that might ease up the energetic tension. Now, that was a little tangent. The thing that's frustrating to me, because yeah, this energy in the center and all this, the build up, there is a frustration undertone. So watch out for frustrating situations. But Lady Justice is sitting there and considering, especially under a card like the Hierophant. Yes, it's Libra energy, but to me, with the Hierophant, it's like sometimes the best action is no action. Sometimes the best action is to give something time. And I hate to speak in cliches, but have you heard the phrase like time heals all wounds? You know, certain times there's time for action, like we were seeing last week with the explosive action. I got to do this, I got to do that. Even up here in the front, I need to do this, I need to make this happen. Hierophant with Lady Justice is like, maybe just take the foot off the gas a little bit, maybe just let something do what it needs to do, or maybe just let it flow. So those are the main things I'm picking up here. I do see it improving in the end, but it improves with time and perspective change. Okay? And there's only one person that could do that, and that's the person that's changing their own perspective. But let's go through and do a quick recap. That's very interesting how we have it on the back end. I like where we end up, but let's go through. We'll do a recap, then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box position number one, we have the Nine of Swords, Knight of Swords in the upright. This is a very go, go, go. I need to do this. I need to do that. Watch out for stress and anxiety, runaway train brain, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of internal intensity that I'm picking up here in the front. So someone might be stressed, anxious, nervous, or even upset. That's possible. Moving to the center, we have the Five of Pentacles with the Devil. Especially watch out for outside problems pulling you in. Work, money, business, finance, like material world stuff could be a potential problem or issue too. Um, I like where it changes, but this to me feels like an energy that feels a little stuck. So just know, like, there could be something where you might feel like a reality showing you it's never going to change, but I do think it's changeable. Moving to the back end, we have the Hierophant with Lady Justice. There's something here about trying or attempting to switch your perspective, where instead of something working against me, it's working for you. Like, even if you don't understand why, super unique. But this also, to me, feels like sometimes the best action is no action, and we need to just let something do what it's going to do, right? Because this energy is not doing much. It's just letting time work its magic. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going here. What do we got in the shadows for lovely Leos? Thank you. Okay, yeah, so we do have this theme showing up again. We have the Hierophant showing up in the shadows, and the Hierophant was a very big part of the solution to all this tension and frustrating type of energy we were picking up. Now, again, the Hierophant, it could just represent a Taurus, it could represent day-to-day routine, all the stuff we already spoke about. We did go pretty in-depth when it comes to this. But the shadow side of the Hierophant mirrors what the devil is, where it feels stuck, it feels like it's not making progress, it feels frustrated. So that's come through in multiple areas within the reading. So watch out for intense internal energetic overload, where this energy needs to go somewhere, or the frustration, the pressure building, because this energy here, especially in the shadows, it could feel like it feels stuck in a rut or between a rock and a hard place. So I think that's something to watch out for, Leo. We're going to put it down right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, the winners, which will be three, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.